So Laevatain, the red hot dragon girl, gonna be released on pretty much today. But before we get into the pro and cons on pooling her, I would like to talk a bit about the pool economy. Like you see, on my video on yesterday, I said we're gonna get about 130 pools from my estimation. But when I take a look into the Braxophone's video, he got the number from the CN side. If you go absolutely hog wild with the game, playing the game all day long, exploring the map, getting all the treasure, you would be getting 241 pools. And we could be expecting about 30 pools from the event. So we are more likely to get about like 20, 70, 80 pools right off the bat. If this info is real, I think it's actually pretty generous. And I'm talking about the limited pool, I'm not talking about the standard. You will be getting another 152 pools for the standard. But still, if you're committing into pooling any character, make sure that you have 120 pool first, so you wouldn't make the worst mistake that you could possibly do in Arknights Endfield. However, in gacha game like this, the strongest character will always be the future one. So there's no point of pulling a character for how strong they are. My name is Ryusuke. I'm gonna be doing a digestible content and more of a casual side content on the Arknights Endfield. So be sure to like and subscribe and maybe leave a comment. And now let's get started. Well, when it comes to pooling, it's actually a pretty personal decision. But I think there are more reasons other than just this character is looking hot, even though that is still a legit idea to pool for the character. But pooling for the power levels and not taking the playstyle and the vibe into the concern usually led to regret. So the rule of thumb will always be waifu over meta. And a good middle ground is also pool for the character that synergizes with your favorite character well, so you could actually beat the game in the way you want. Anyway, let's get started on why you shouldn't pool for the 1.0 character or Laevatain for the Arknights Endfield. Even though on my thumbnail I did say that I'm gonna pool for her, but I'm gonna get into that in a minute. There's a pretty legit reason on why you shouldn't pool for 1.0 character. The longer the game progress, the harder the 1.0 character gonna take the hit. Unless they're getting the fix in the future patch, or there's some new character that miraculously synergize perfectly well with the 1.0 character. Cause in pretty much every single gacha game, they will always came out with the stronger character to incentivize more people into pooling for the character. Cause why would I pool for a weaker character? I mean, people would pool for the vibe or maybe for the waifu, but by adding more reason on top of that, gonna add more reason for people to pool for it. So if you don't find Laevatain particularly attractive, or you are more interested with the upcoming character, whether it's Gilberta or Yvonne, especially Yvonne, she is more like a single target nuke character. I've heard people from CBT said that she's a perfect operator for the endgame content, but not necessarily the exploration, cause she doesn't have the AOE attacks. She gonna feel harder to play on the exploration, but I don't think that should be your main concern. So while taking that into the consideration, why do I still decide to pool for Laevatain, given that her value gonna be depreciating over time? Aside from the two reasons, like she's looking gorgeous as hell, never once in my life wanna be a raindrop dropping on her and getting evaporated by her hotness, and she got the strongest day 1 team in the entire game. My number one reason is pretty simple. She's gonna improve the quality of life aspect in the game, cause apparently she got the strongest AOE damage. So as you can see when we are fighting the mobs in the exploration, you will see the mobs spreading around and scattering everywhere. You either need a good range of AOE or some kinds of grouping mechanics to deal with these trash mobs smoothly. And that would save me a lot of time on clearing the mobs throughout the exploration and progress the game with faster pace. And it's also because I'm a content creator, so I need to do my due diligence to learn all types of aspects of the game. So you 100% want to pool for her if you want to progress the game in a faster pace. Especially for the game that is as ambitious as the Arknights Endfield. They still got the AIC system, and a gigantic map to explore, and the combat system that I'm not familiar with. And instead of grinding more and playing the game in the harder mode, I would rather use those time to experience other aspects of the game. And of course, as a content creator, this becomes especially important. If you don't mind progressing the game slowly with your own pace, cause I also did that in Genshin Impact and the Honkai Star Rail, I don't pull the first character when I hop into the game. I just simply wait for the one that I like. I feel my team is on the weaker side, but I'm totally fine, and I don't see it hinder my experience with the game at all. And I do think that is also a good reason to not pull for her, unless you want her, because in the end, it's a single player game. It's not a PvP game, and there's absolutely no punishment for progressing slow anyway. Why rush it? The second reason is also pretty straightforward. I want to have as much 5-star operator as possible, and the only way to get those 5-star is really to pull as much as I could. I want to test out all the 5-star, especially as a content creator, to form different kind of team comp, having different kinds of experience, trying out different kinds of team, cause that would make the game a bit more fun, rather than just sticking with one strongest team. But all of you would still be getting 150 standard pool anyway. I think you will still be just fine without some extra copies from the limited pool. And yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people talk about how are they gonna reroll the account to get the character that they want, to get a really good start with the game. But in my opinion, I don't think you need to reroll. Even if you want to reroll, maybe like 2 or 3 accounts and pick the best one. Cause in the grand scheme, rerolling wouldn't make that much difference on your account. I would rather spend quality time to enjoy the game as it is. To be honest, I think it's more like a min-maxing mentality, but in the end, it doesn't really matter. I might doing one reroll, but that's really it, or maybe not at all. Probably not at all, I think. As a person who play games like Genshin Impact, Zone Zero, Honkai Star Rail, I don't find rerolling is that beneficial. But that's just me. I respect your decision if you're rerolling, because I do remember I spent like 6-7 hours into rerolling in the Zone Zero just to get Soldier 11, which pretty quickly becoming irrelevant, so I didn't have the best experience rerolling looking from the hindsight. Let me know in the comment on why you pull for Laevatain or skip Laevatain. Anyway, see ya guys, don't forget to like and sub, and see ya in the game.